Hi, I'm Benjamin Hunting with Auto by Tel. I'm here today in beautiful Miami Beach, Florida with the 2016 Honda HR-V. If the Honda HR-V looks a little familiar to you, that's because it is. Despite the fact that this is an all-new entry into the subcompact crossover space for Honda, the HR-V is based on the Honda Fit, which is an extremely popular subcompact hatchback. The Honda Fit is known for being one of the most versatile subcompact hatchbacks on the market. It offers close to 60 cubic feet of internal space in a subcompact package, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. And it's all because of something called the Magic Seat. The Magic Seat can lift up, it can flip down, you can even fold down the passenger seat in the front of the car if you want to haul something like 8 feet long like a surfboard. In essence, what Honda has done is taken the practicality of the Fit, given it a little bit of a suspension lift, added all-wheel drive, and called it the HR-V crossover. Obviously, it's not that simple. You can't just start adding stuff to a vehicle's platform and all of a sudden it's a crossover, even if one of those somethings is all-wheel drive. That's because when you start to increase the weight of a vehicle, performance starts to suffer. Keeping this in mind, Honda has replaced the Fit's 1.5-liter four-cylinder engine with a 1.8-liter four-cylinder engine, giving you 141 total horsepower and just under 130 pound-feet of torque. If you consider yourself an enthusiast and enjoy shifting cars yourself, you'll be happy to know that you can pair that 1.8-liter four-cylinder engine with a 6-speed manual transmission in the base and EX trim levels. Everywhere else, there's an optional and standard on the EXL CVT. The continuously variable transmission comes with a sport mode as well as paddle shifters with 7 simulated ratios. I've driven both of them today. I can tell you that the manual transmission feels a lot quicker, especially off of the line. From a comfort perspective, there's not a lot of difference. If you just want to cruise around in the HR-V, you're not going to be upset with the CVT at all. And in sport mode, the CVT does give you much more lively throttle than you would just in drive. From a fuel mileage perspective, this vehicle is going to be tagged for 35 miles per gallon on the highway, which is pretty decent when you consider just how capable it really is. The all-wheel drive system found in the Honda HR-V is almost identical to the one in the Honda CR-V, which means it's primarily a front drive system until wheel spin is detected, whereupon torque is shuttled to the rear of the vehicle. You're not going to be off-roading the HR-V, but you're not going to be off-roading the CR-V either. And I don't think anyone is looking to Honda for a rugged all-terrain vehicle. I mentioned Honda's Magic Seat feature before, but here it is in action. As you can see, you get a completely flat load floor, which really helps increase the total volume of cargo that you can carry. But the 60-40 split has a lot of other tricks up its sleeve. If you want, see if I can figure this out here. First time. Aha. It lifts up. This is in case you want to haul something that's tall instead of long. Let's say a potted plant. You can't really lay a potted plant down. I mean, you can, but it's messy. In this case, you can stick it and enjoy the taller roof line of the HR-V. In fact, you could say that the HR-V is even easier to load than the Fit because you have the liftover is really not that bad, but it is up off the ground. So it's not like you're lifting down into something. It's almost ground level. It's almost the same level as if you were lifting it off of a loading dock. It's pretty easy to get in and out of this car despite its small size. And that is one of the huge advantages of the HR-V over its competitors. If you look at vehicles like the Jeep Renegade, the Buick Encore, or the Kia Soul, they're also very practical, but they're missing this feature. And this feature is what Honda is going to push hard to differentiate the HR-V from its competition. Needless to say, if you want to flip this one up, you can do that too. You can lay them down. You can also fold this forward if you want. And I believe it's up to 8 feet in length total if you want to carry something that's ultra long. Honda says you can put 2 bicycles with their front wheels removed facing either way if you want to in the back of the HR-V, which is another important point, I think, because a lot of people who are going to buy this vehicle, not necessarily families. I mean, a small family, sure, I could see them using the HR-V on a daily basis. But a vehicle of this size is more oriented towards couples who have the quote-unquote active lifestyle that car companies love to preach about. And in the case of the HR-V, it's a valid point. You can do almost anything with this vehicle, and you can park it almost anywhere, which means you're not restricted to having to have a huge driveway or parking space at your condo if you want to own a practical SUV like this one. If there was one word that I would use to describe the 2016 Honda HR-V, that word would be packaging. This is a vehicle that's within 1 inch of the much larger CR-V's wheelbase, and yet is still 10 inches shorter. That means you're getting an intense amount of interior room for both passengers and cargo in a package that is much, much easier to drive, especially if you live in a city. It's clear to me that Honda has put an immense amount of thought into the HR-V as a concept. This isn't just something they threw together because they all of a sudden wanted to have a compact crossover in the lineup. This is the result of years of planning, of deciding just how they could take the Fit formula, turn it into a crossover, and improve rather than just add to their family of vehicles. This is almost as efficient as the Fit, despite being more powerful and just as big inside. Not only that, you get the option of all-wheel drive, which is going to be a huge hit for northern buyers. The sum total of the 2016 Honda HR-V is definitely greater than its parts, and I think Honda is going to have a lot of success with this vehicle as soon as it becomes available this spring.